Hello there and welcome. Yes, we are Geeks Assembled and we have gathered here again today to talk about The Elephant Man. Yes, with John Hurt, the late, great John Hurt. And let's start off with opening thoughts. So who wants to go first?
I will.
Yep.
Elephant Man was intense. It was heartrending. It was it had such good it's had such compassion or it elicited so much compassion from me. It was just amazing. It's just such an amazing movie.
Anybody else? Beef Dad, Lee? Connor?
Yeah, there was historical inaccuracies that spoiled it a little for me because having read his life story, I know that it didn't tell you anything about his early life. It doesn't mention the fact that he's got a brother and sister who were both totally normal. His mother died when he was 12. When his father remarried, his stepmother threw him out onto the streets at the age of 12. So he was by then fairly deformed, and because he couldn't do the physical work that was needed, he couldn't even go into a I don't know what they call them, workhouse. He couldn't even go into a workhouse because he couldn't do the physical work that was necessary. So he actually went out and exhibited himself.
Oh.
He went out and exhibited himself. Bites is a totally fictional character. He didn't exist at all. Treves Green, Frederick Treves. He did go and see him. He wanted to examine him, and the first time that he asked to examine him, he was turned down. His name was not John Merrick, it was Joseph. And after that, when it became illegal in this country to exhibit freaks, so-called, he then went to Belgium. Now, in Belgium, it was still legal, but he was mistreated, he was robbed, and he was basically left destitute. And that was when he got the bronchitis. And it was only when he came back to England that he contacted Frederick Treves, because Frederick Treves had given him his card. The whole business at the railway station actually did happen. And fortunately, he had the card from Treves, and the police took him to the London hospital, fortunately. And from then on, it is fairly historically accurate. But he wasn't kidnapped from the hospital. That part was all fictionalized to make it an interesting and exciting film. But having said that, it takes absolutely nothing away from the incredible performance by John Hurt.
Yeah.
To actually convey the amount of emotion and to tear at your heart the way he did, with that amount of makeup on and not being able to use his voice completely, was an absolutely virtuoso performance and absolutely brilliant.
Does anybody else?
Yeah, Beef Dad mentions John Hurt, but as with many movies he's in, the one that makes it really for me, John Hurt is absolutely magnificent in this. But Anthony Hopkins is an absolute class act of an actor. I enjoy every bit of work he's in. Love him to death as an actor. He's brilliant. As Trevor's in this, he's magnificent. The interesting thing about this film is because it's in black and white, and it was made in the 1980s when colour cinema was very much already established. Pretty much every film was doing it in colour. And I think that the black and white aspect of it really sort of stands the story out a bit more. It goes a lot deeper than maybe it would have done in colour.
Why does Connor take everything I'm going to say?
And in the barbaric sort of, even though it's historically inaccurate, as Beef Dad has pointed out, the circus show that in the movie they made of him is really heart wrenching, and it really punches you in the gut, to be honest, to see that there's so much cruelty in the way that people treat Merrick as a character and as a person. I like how it's based on a true story as well, and it's directed by the great David Lynch. Dune, which is getting a remake, Blue Velvet, and Twin Peaks. So a real powerhouse of a director behind it. It's a magnificent film. Absolutely loved it.
It shows how cruel people can be to one another.
Yeah.
You know, with the freak shows and things like that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I think it's I'm glad it's in black and white. Like Connor says, I think black and white really helps it. You know, it's got this, I don't know, this feel about it. It's like old Doctor Who, isn't it? It's like old Doctor Who versus coloured Doctor Who. And it's like, it has that more darker essence to it, more, you know, creepy in a way. Because it's in black and white. What does Lee have to say?
Well, Lee has to say, for a film made in 1980, and I've seen this many times before, I can sit through this from beginning to end, watch the brilliant performances from every single actor in this, because every actor in this is just brilliant, from the top billing to the support casts. I mean, did anybody see Pauline Quirk as the second whore? She was there. She was in it. But by the end of it, I was watching it. I was correct. There was tears down my face at the end of it. It was. I didn't realise it at the time, but I thought, it still affects me to watching the film, and that is purely from the performances from these people in this film. Good directing. Okay, it's not accurate in the history-wise, but they've made it so you get the gist of what Joseph Merrick was all about. It's just a wonderful film. David Lynch, John Hurt at their best, with all the other supporting cast, brilliant.
Yeah, I did. Go ahead, Lee.
I was going to say Kenny Baker is also in it. He played R2-D2. So as a Star Wars fan, it was really great to see him in his human form for once. He's a superb actor.
He is a really good actor.
Yeah, I didn't know how accurate it was because I don't really know the real life story of the man, really. But I knew it was, you know, a true. I've heard of the Elephant Man before now. You know, not just the film, but the actual person.
Every Hollywood movie or any movie these days, if it says based on a true event or whatever, they always tweak it and twist certain things.
They use creative. What's it called? It's got a word for it. Creative license. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's usually loosely based on true facts, but they always like to fiddle about with it.
Yeah.
But let's go on to favourite characters, and I have to say, John Hurt is just amazing in this. I mean, even though he's got all that makeup on, the prosthetics, he can still get a performance out. and make it really powerful. And when he cries and there's a little tear going down his face, it's just brilliant. And John Hurt really does make this film, really, for me. He really does. I've never seen it before. I have to say, I haven't seen it before. Never. This is the first time watching it. And I just thought it was excellent. I mean, I've obviously heard of it before, but I've never actually sat down and actually watched it. And it's about 2 hours, and I watched the whole thing because it was so gripping to see what happens to this person. And you feel sorry for him because he's been beaten by his owner, and who's pretending to the doctor that he fell down the stairs, and how he's treated. And then he gets treated better in the hospital. They take him round for tea and things like that. And when he speaks for the first time as well, because at the beginning you don't know whether he can speak or not, because he's just going and then you find out that he reads and everything like that, and it just moves along at a nice pace. It moves along at a nice pace.
Yeah.
But does anybody else want to mention any characters? Because I really thought all of
the woman who took care of who took him under her wing and raised him up as a social, emotional, even, dare I say, sexual animal, a sexual person, not animal. Sorry, he's not an animal.
Mrs. Kendall.
Mrs. Kendall, yeah, she.
Wonderful Anne Bancroft.
Yeah, Anne Bancroft. But the character of that she invested so much. She was really intentional about every emotion and about every movement and everything that she was doing with him came from a place of empowering him. And she had obviously received some empowerment herself. It was a grand performance. It was a grand character.
Anybody else mention characters?
Me personally, I mean, I mentioned it before. You've got Sir John Hurt, you've got Sir John Gielgud, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Dame Wendy Hill are all in this. The acting is elite in this. But there's several characters. Apart from John Hurt, which just tops a lot, you've got Freddie Jones as Mr. Bite.
Yeah.
What's such a evil, conniving sod he was. And then you've got Wendy Hill. You said Dame Wendy Hiller as the head nurse. She went from saying all he needs is a good smack.
Yeah.
By the end of it, she cared for him. She really did care for John Merrick. You could see the progression. That was brilliant. Yeah, there's just so many. I mean, Michael Elphick as well.
Yep.
As his tormentor. But that is a brilliant performance in that. That was. It's just all the performances in this are they're up there. Never bettered, I don't think.
And of course, you got smoking in the hospital as well. You can't do now. Yeah.
And drinking.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other favourite characters?
Yeah, again, I've just got to shout from the rooftop for Anthony Hopkins.
Off you go then.
Yeah, this was...
hopefully get a signal from there.
Was this one of his earlier roles? Because he was really quite young in this, it seemed.
No, it's he'd been acting since the 60s, 70s.
But he probably looks younger because black and white.
He mostly looks younger because he was younger.
Well, yeah, and that as well. Yeah. It does.
Yeah, the amount of there's a slight cruelty to Treves. I think the scene where he's looking out the window at right near the beginning, where the Elephant Man, John Merrick, is entering into the carriage just after they first meet each other in the office, and he's sort of wondering. He must be an imbecile, He must be stupid. But at the same time, you feel he's thoughtful that this guy is more intelligent than he appears, and that he can really outwit anyone that doubts him, that bullies him, that is judgmental of him. And it ends up that is being the case because, as Alan said, he can read. You know, he's a really intelligent human being. So there's a slight cruelty to him, but I think overall, as a character, he sort of balances the slight cruelty with the great edge of his character, I think.
Yeah, he also wrote poetry, kept diaries. He did actually build that model of the cathedral.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, he did actually build that. That is in the museum at the Royal London Hospital. He made it for Princess Alex, who went on to become Queen Alexandra. That was one of the magic moments of the films, where they were talking about whether or not they were going to allow him to stay at the Royal London Hospital. And Princess Alex turned up and read them a letter from Queen Victoria. That is factual. That happened. But yeah, just some amazing performances and really a stellar cast. Yeah, people like Patricia Hodge just playing a screaming mum, Patsy Smart playing a woman, sort of a distraught woman, Kathleen Byron, who did loads and loads of brilliant movies, British movies, playing a bit part as Lady Waddington. It was just an extraordinary collection of actors and actresses. It's just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah. And should we move on to favourite moments now? And I have to say, one of my favourite moments is actually the beginning, because I thought the beginning was great. And the build-up to seeing the Elephant Man was really, really good. It was a really good build-up. But there's great moments throughout this. I mean, when the stage lady, you know, the theatre lady comes along, and they just start reading Romeo and Juliet together. You know, and proving that he is very clever. You know, and when he first speaks, you know, and like Connor says, that they think he's dumb, they think he's thick, they think he can't speak, you know, and he can't read and he can't do anything, you know, but he can. He's actually, apart from physically, you know, visually, he's a normal person mentally, isn't he? He's like a normal person. And the thing is, to think that in this film, he suffered at the hands of that evil guy, you know, who just wanted to make money out of him, and he could speak all along and he could talk, but he was too scared. You know, he was too scared to talk, wasn't he? Because like, he said that he said it to the doctor that he was frightened to talk. So, well, let's see what everybody else has to say. Our favourite moment.
Yeah, well, it's not favourite moment per se, but because the film is just, for me, all the way along, it's just brilliant. It's, for me, it's the direction of it by David Lynch, the way he put it all together. I mean, the beginning of it with the nightmarish scenes with the elephants and the woman's mother getting trampled, that is David Lynch down to T. He issues that sort of imagery in everything he does. It sort of gets your attention straight away. And as I say, by filming it in black and white as well, it adds that darkness to it, and all the Victorian streets, and you say the carnival, and all the darkness of it. It was just so brilliantly done. And of the time, 1980, with the prosthetics, that is just awesome. I mean, that looked. I mean, it must have weighed a hell of a lot for John Hurt to have that on his head for the long shoe. So the way he was doing his head, it was most probably quite heavy.
Yeah, because it was out the back here, wasn't it? It was like like that. Yeah, it was like having a second head.
That's why
Yeah,
that's why his neck broke when he tried to lay on the bed like an ordinary human, an ordinary man.
Hmm.
it was just the way the film is edited, put together, directed. For me, that is my favourite thing about it. It's just the whole thing is just one bundle of greatness.
Mm. For me, there were two magical moments for me. There was going to the Treves for tea.
Oh yeah.
That was just so heartwarming. And then the first visit to a theatrical performance, and just the magic of it, and the fact that at the end of it, the cast dedicated the performance to him, and that's documented fact. They did.
Oh.
And he was sat in the royal box with the Princess of Wales, and that for me was, because those are historically factual. Those for me were the magical moments in his life.
Favourite moments, Connor or Susan?
I think just all of it, and the bit at the end in the Liverpool station where he the quote is it "I'm not an animal, I'm a man."
Yeah.
Paraphrase is that's the best bit. I think you can't beat that.
Susan?
I guess my favorite was or one that hasn't been mentioned, because all of you guys have mentioned some awesome moments. What was when he was being examined the first time, and they notice they take a serious account of all of his injuries and deformities and the things that would form his disability. I mean, that was wonderful. It was incredibly well done.
Yeah. So
and when his friend, the theatrical Mrs. Garner or whatever, she came alongside him. Of course, that was brilliant too.
does anyone have any more facts or anything like that? Trivia?
Yeah, I've got one. I mean, I think I mentioned it before we started the cast. After he died, it was Frederick Treves what actually had to dissect his friend's body.
Oh.
He did that himself, dissected it to discover all what disease and deformities, what all about the bones, and so really it was down to Frederick Treves that he sort of displayed John Merrick's bones, which is a bit eerie, don't you think?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Lee. Does anyone else have any facts or trivia or anything about the real man himself?
He was actually in writing contact with Victoria.
Hmm.
And as I say, at the museum, they've still got his diaries, and he wrote some beautiful, beautiful poetry. He had soul of an angel.
Yeah. But we're not quite sure where the bones are now, are we? We're not quite sure. Because I know they want to bury him. They actually want to bury his bones. But I think he's still encased somewhere on show. Anyway, we might as well move on to final say and score. And let's go with Susan first, because she's got to go soon. So we'll go to Susan for a final say and score. If she can hear me. Susan? Don't worry, we'll go to Lee. Susan's busy at the moment.
My final thoughts on this: a film about friendship, human kindness, human. What do you call it? The way the evil of how men can be as well.
Yeah.
The pure acting in this is just awesome. John Hurt, we love you. Rest in peace, John Hurt. Thank you for everything you gave us. It's a 10 out of 10.
Beef Dad, final say and score?
Without overstating it, it's a piece of cinema magic. With an incredible cast, and that incredible cast, even with the alterations, did the story justice. And for me, it gets a complete gold, solid gold, 10 out of 10.
Oh, we got a solid gold one. And let's go to Susan this time.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. There is hardly a speck of dust on this piece to me. It broke my heart over and over again, like Lee, and I didn't realize its historical accuracy or inaccuracy, like Beef Dad said. And Anthony Hopkins, brilliant, and Sir John Hurt was awesome, and I'd just like to say rest in peace, John Hurt.
Yep.
Pancreatic cancer didn't take away a moment of your genius, sir.
And let's go to Connor.
Yeah,
Score.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt, two actors that you probably would find difficult to find any better, just in a film together, doing what they do best, acting amazingly. And this was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, won none.
Didn't win any,
which is
hell.
And I don't know what it was up against that year. So forgive me if there was any better films, which I doubt there were. But
was it a bit of
it needed better? It
dirty's going on. Yeah,
it deserved one, at least one.
More than one.
Well, I would say probably deserved all of them. At least deserved Best Actor. I think that's what it was nominated for. So yeah, it deserved some Academy Awards. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and what can I say? What else can I add? I mean, it's the first time I watched it, and it was brilliant. I mean, John Hurt in this is just fantastic. I mean, everybody is, but John Hurt, he plays the Elephant Man so well, even though he's got all that makeup on, and really you wouldn't even know it's him, really, would you? Because you physically can't see him because he's got all the makeup on and that, and all the prosthetics. But yeah, it's just great from beginning to end. I'm going to give it a 10. I don't see why it shouldn't get a 10. I mean, I can't think of any bad points really, so I think that's a 10. So anyway, we're off now. We're off to Lee's house. We're going to raid the cupboards.
We're going to raid the toilet.
And the wine.
Yeah, the toilet for good beverage
well, you can raid the toilet. I'll be going into the drinks cabinet. So there we are. And on that bombshell, tell us below what you think about this film, about the Elephant Man. Hit that subscribe button for more chaos like this. Yes, because we do more videos. We do amazingly. This channel's still going. Yeah, I know this channel's still going, and it's still getting viewers. I know. Who's viewing? I don't know. They must be mad. Yeah, and we're still getting subscribers. Crazy. Anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.